Following some new warnings from TSA, some breaking news out of there about terrorist threats aboard U.S.-bound planes. Pete Williams put this in perspective. TSA, new warnings out this morning. What's it about?
Right. TSA has advised the operators of airlines that fly into the U.S. and the operators of airports overseas that handle those flights that they've discovered intelligence of a discussion among terrorists of surgically implanting fully made explosive devices or explosive components into passengers that are flying into the U.S. Now, they stress that they haven't detected any actual plots, no imminent threat, but they say this is intelligence they've developed based on what they call discussions among terrorists. They aren't further elaborating on the nature of the intelligence. Now, obviously, if this were to be carried out, it would be a further refinement, if you will, of trying to conceal explosives, much more so than was done with the underwear bomber, for example. And to be a little bit more explicit here, we're not talking about body cavities. We're actually talking about surgical insertion of these devices, according to these terror warnings. So presumably, this would be a suicide attempt, and the material would function inside the body. There would be some way of detonating it without opening the person back up again. So what passengers flying into the U.S. can expect to see, and by the way, this is folks overseas coming into the U.S. and Americans returning home, is more security at the airport, more pat-downs, more use of these explosive trace devices where they swab your hands and your luggage with those little fabric samples and then stick them in the gizmo to see if there are any explosive traces. You may be questioned more by airport personnel, so you're going to see probably more intensive security here for a while they try to get a better handle on this.
But is this something, I mean, they're hoping that they can do the trace on fingernails, or on their fingers, and I understand that. Is this something a pat-down can get done?
Well, I don't think there's any one thing that they do that would detect this. It's going to be very difficult to detect. There's no question about this. But what they hope is that all the measures put together can either discourage or prevent or detect this. But it would be potentially very serious if they were to carry it out.
Now, they don't say is it from Al-Qaeda? Will they even say that?
They don't. They just say terrorist organizations.
So they don't even specifically name Al-Qaeda in this
case. I mean, I had a brief conversation with one official this morning, so we hope to learn maybe later more details as we go through the day. But, I think at this point they're concerned about the fact that it's been discussed at all.
And this is TSA put this out publicly. This isn't something that, quote, leaked out of form.
No.
They wanted this out publicly.
Yes, for two reasons. One is they've already told the foreign and international and domestically based airlines that fly in and out of the U.S. They've already told the operators of the airports. Now they're making it public because passengers are going to see more security when they come here. And I suspect they also want the bad guys to know that they're hip to this. Yeah.
All right. Pete Williams, our Justice correspondent, going to be on top of this all day. I have a feeling you suddenly have a busy day.
Could be.
All right, Pete, thanks.